Welcome to this video on recruitment pulls. This is a hangboard or fingerboard routine where we're actually going to be focusing on pulling as hard as we can rather than just hanging in an isometric position, which we're so used to doing in fingerboard or hangboard routines. If you don't know what a max hang is, where we just kind of typically add weight on a certain edge to create strength gains, then have a look at the video in the description below or the pop out that should come up here. In this video we're going to be talking about recruitment pulls where we're actually going to try and pull as hard as we can. And in my opinion, it's really worth doing 2 or 3 things. Firstly, changing the grip size so it's relevant to you. If you're going to be climbing on tiny micro edges, then do the same on this session. And vary it too, because you may be putting on 20mm edges, you may be putting on 30mm edges, you may be putting on 4mm edges. Make it relevant to you and your projects. Also the grip type. Sometimes we have to be efficient and pull on open hand, sometimes in half grip, sometimes in full grip, and we've got to create that force, as much force as possible. Often we have to get a hold and we have to pull all of our body weight, as much of our body weight as possible. That's why this session is relevant to us as climbers. So, protocols, all of the kind of in-depth information on sets and reps we'll put in the description below. But basically you want to be hanging between a 120 and a 150 degree angle. When I say hanging, I mean pulling. And also we've got to talk about how that works. So for example, on jugs, I'm obviously going to just be able to do a pull-up. And I want to create more force than that. So it could be that I go onto one arm, and then we have to look at the size of the rung. So for example, on 20mm edge, I can hold my body weight up for 5 to 10 seconds on one arm on a 20mm edge. So either it means I'll have to add weight or hold something to create extra resistance so I can create more force than my body weight. So say for example I weigh 76 kilograms and I can pull my body weight up on one arm on a 20mm edge, then I have to create resistance, so I'm going to start to train more than my body weight, so 80 kilograms, 90 kilograms, always trying to track that progression. It could be that I drop the size of the rung, so I go onto 50mm edge and then things become a lot harder. So that could be good. Otherwise, I could drop the size of the rung as well. If you can't do these on one arm, then it's fine to do it on 2 hands as well. Again, make the hold size relevant to you. Either add weight, clamp your feet on something like a table or a door, or go onto the side of a rung that you can't pull your body weight off the floor. So for me, 6 mils, I can't do that. So what I'm going to do is engage for 1 to 2 seconds. So I've created load, so I'm not going to shock load my soft tissues, my pulleys. And then I'm going to pull as hard as I can for 3 seconds, or 1 to 3 seconds. So here we go. So 1 second, 2 seconds, and now pull. And now I'm going to pull as hard as I can through that hold. Again, I would probably do the same on 8 mils, 10 mils, 15 and 20. I just create more resistance so I can't pull my body weight off the floor. Again, on one arm, I do exactly the same. So I create tension. And then on the 15mm edge, I can actually kind of pull my body weight down so that I'm not actually going to be able to pull my body weight off the floor to do a one armer. If you can do it on jugs, for example, and you can't do it on the next size down, that's fine. If you can't pull your body weight off the floor, it's ideal, we can create the force. The problem when it comes to this is actually knowing how much weight we're putting. And it could be that you are doing it on one arm and you stand on your weighing scales, you have your timer in front of you, and then you pull and you can see the weight coming off you. So for example, say I weigh 76 kilograms at the moment, I'm weighing on them, I'm fully weighted, and now take a bit of tension off, so maybe it goes to 66 kilograms, then I pull as hard as I can see that number decrease. Essentially I can see how much weight I'm putting on the floor. That's one option. The alternative, and I appreciate that most people won't have access to this, I can introduce it anyway because it's so relevant, is to use a dynamometer. And there's various types. Here we use the G-Strength Exergo. Now this is really good because it gets rid of all that guesswork. So I, for example, can connect to this. I can, in this position I'll go lower, but I can create tension. So for example, right now I can see that I'm putting 13.3 kilograms and I'm seeing data every 26th of a second. Now I can pull as hard as I can for 3 seconds, and then I can see exactly how much force I've just created. And I'm trying to pull as hard as I can The G strength, you can obviously attach different attachments. We've got the tension block, but I can also use the tension flashboard. I can pull as hard as I can with 1 or 2 hands, and I can see the exact data. If you can do a 1 arm on this, you can change the size of the rung, or you can add weight to it. You're sitting down, you're not going to be able to pull your body weight off the floor, and you can see that progression. In all of this training, in my opinion as a coach, it's worth tracking your data to see progression, to see if your training is working. If it's not, you need to switch it up to get more adaptation. But the recruitment polls are really important. I track this all the time. It's really relevant to be able to create that force. So for all information, like I said, we'll put it in the description below. But I hope you enjoyed this video on recruitment polls.